Welcome back to our English podcast. Today, we're diving into some essential phrases that you'll need in everyday life. First up, we'll explore greetings and how to ask for help. Let's get started. All right, let's start with some of the most important phrases you need to know. Greetings. In English, one of the first things you learn is how to say hello. But there's a lot more to it, right, John?
Absolutely, Anna. The most basic greeting is hello, and it works in almost every situation. Whether you're meeting someone for the first time or catching up with a friend, it's the go-to phrase.
That's true, but you don't always have to say hello. If you're meeting friends, you can go with hi or even hey. These are a little more casual and friendly.
Yeah, and hey is probably the most informal of all. It's perfect for close friends. But if you're meeting someone more formal or at work, you might want to stick to hello or even good morning.
Speaking of good morning, that's a great phrase to use if it's the start of the day. If it's afternoon, you can say good afternoon, and good evening works when it's getting late.
I love using good morning. It feels so polite, and it's perfect when you meet someone early in the day. Plus, it's more formal, so it works in professional settings too.
Right, and let's not forget good night. That one's typically used when you're leaving for the evening or going to bed.
I use good night when I'm wrapping up my day. If I'm heading to bed, it's just a nice way to say goodbye to the people I'm with.
Definitely. It's also a great phrase if you're leaving a party. Now, let's move on to asking how someone is doing. If you say, "How are you?" that's the most common follow-up after a greeting.
Yep, and if you want to be more casual, you can ask, "How's it going?" or "What's up?" Those are great for friends.
Oh, I definitely use "what's up" when I'm talking to people I know really well. It's so casual. But if you want to be more formal, you can say, "How do you do?" It's used when you first meet someone, though it's kind of old-fashioned nowadays.
I haven't heard "how do you do" in ages, but "how are you" works almost every time, and you can respond with "I'm good, thanks," or "I'm doing well." If you're feeling great, you might say, "I'm fantastic."
Right. And if you're not feeling too great, you can say, "I'm not feeling too well today," or "I'm a bit tired."
Or, if you're feeling okay but don't want to go into too much detail, you could say, "I'm all right," or "I'm fine, thanks."
And if you want to ask how someone's doing over a longer period, like after not seeing them for a while, you could say, "How have you been?" It's a nice, friendly way to catch up.
"Oh, how have you been?" is definitely a go-to for people you haven't seen in a while. It's a little more personal and shows you care about what's been going on in their life.
Exactly. Now, let's switch gears and talk about asking for help. This is something we all need at some point. The most straightforward way to ask for help is, "Can you help me?" It's simple and gets the point across.
Yeah, but you can also say, "Could you give me a hand?" if you need a little more support. Or if you're asking for directions, "Could you tell me how to get to?" works really well.
Right. And if you're not sure if someone can help, you could say, "I wonder if you could help me with this."
Nice one! And if you're in a store and need help finding something, you can ask, "Do you have this in a different size?" Or, "Is this the only color you have?"
Or if you're at a cafe and you want to change your order, you can say, "Actually, could I get that without the onions?" It's a polite way to ask for a change in your meal.
And when you're asking for directions, it's nice to say, "Excuse me, could you point me to the nearest bus stop?" It's friendly and polite.
Definitely. It's always good to add please and thank you when you're asking for something. It's polite, and people really appreciate it. For example, "Could you please help me find my way?" sounds really respectful.
Oh, for sure. If you're looking for something specific, you might say, "Do you have this in stock?" Or, "Is this on sale today?"
And if you need to ask for someone's time, like in an office or store, you could say, "Do you have a minute?" Or, "Could I have a word with you?"
Yeah, those are great for more formal situations. It's like saying, "I just need a moment of your time," without being too direct.
And when you're lost, it's good to say, "Excuse me, I think I'm lost. Can you help me?" It's a polite way to get someone's attention without feeling awkward.
Exactly. And let's say you're shopping and you need to check out. You might hear someone say, "Will that be all for today?" And you can reply, "Yes, that's everything, thanks."
And then when you're paying, the cashier will ask, "Cash or card?" And you can respond, "Card, please."
That's usually the moment I start searching for my card. But hey, if you need to leave quickly, you can just say, "Can I pay now?" to speed things up.
Now let's talk about phrases you'll need when shopping or ordering food. For shopping, you'll often hear, "Can I help you?" And the most common response is, "I'm just looking, thanks."
Right, but if you do need help, you could say, "Can you show me where the is?" Or, "How much is this?"
Exactly. And you might also ask, "Do you have this in another size?" Or, "Is this on sale today?"
Oh yeah, you might want to ask, "Do you have a discount on this?" if you're hoping to save a bit of money.
For sure. And when you're paying, the cashier might ask, "Cash or card?" You can respond with, "Card, please," or "I'll pay with cash."
That's usually the moment I start searching for my card. But hey, if you need to leave quickly, you can just say, "Can I pay now?" to speed things up.
Absolutely. Now, let's move on to ordering food. When you're at a restaurant or cafe, you'll probably hear, "Would you like to see the menu?" Or, "What would you like to order?"
And when you're ready to order, you can say, "I'll have the chicken salad, please," or, "Could I get the burger with fries?"
Right. And if you want to ask about something on the menu, you can say, "What do you recommend?" Or, "What's in this dish?"
If you have dietary preferences or restrictions, it's good to say, "I'm allergic to nuts," or, "Could you make it without dairy?"
Oh, that's important. And when you're done with your meal, don't forget to ask for the bill. You can say, "Could I get the check, please?" Or, "Can I pay now?"
And if you need to make any changes to your order, you can always say, "Actually, could I get that without the onions?"
Yes, that's an easy fix. It's a polite way to ask for a change in your meal.
For sure. And when you're in a cafe, you might say, "I'll have a latte, please," or, "Could I get a cappuccino with extra foam?"
Exactly. And when you're at a coffee shop and want to sit down, you could ask, "Do you have a table for one?" Or, "Is this seat taken?"
And if you're picking up something to go, you can say, "Can I have it to go?" Or, "I'd like it to be takeaway, please."
That's a good one. It's perfect if you don't have time to sit down but still want to enjoy your meal later.
I can't tell you how many times I've said, "Can I get it to go?" when I'm in a rush. It's just a lot quicker.
Right. And if you want to make sure everything's good with your order, you can ask, "Is this everything?" Or, "Is my order ready?"
And if you're waiting in line, you could also say, "How long will the wait be?" Or, "Do you have a reservation?"
Oh, for sure. Asking about the wait time is really helpful, especially if you're hungry and want to know when you'll be seated.
Right. And if you're in a hurry, you can say, "Could I get this to go, please?" Or, "I'm in a rush, so I'd appreciate it if you could hurry with my order."
I've definitely been there, but it's always nice to be polite, right? Saying please and thank you makes a big difference.
Absolutely. And if you need more of something like extra napkins or a straw, you can say, "Could I have some more napkins, please?" Or, "Could I get a straw for my drink?"
Exactly. And when you're at a food court or a casual spot, if you're unsure about what to order, just ask the person behind the counter, "What's your most popular dish?" Or, "What's your favorite on the menu?"
I love asking that. It's a good way to find something you might not have noticed on the menu. You never know what might be hidden.
True. And don't forget the importance of tipping. If you're happy with the service, it's nice to say, "Thank you for the great service," and leave a tip.
That's really important. Being polite and showing appreciation for good service goes a long way.
Agreed. Now that we've covered shopping and ordering food, let's take a moment to review these essential phrases.
Sure. From asking for help to ordering food, these phrases will help you navigate everyday situations like a pro. Just remember to be polite and don't hesitate to ask questions when you need help.
Welcome back! In this part, we'll be talking about travel phrases you'll need when you're on the go. Traveling can be so much easier when you know how to communicate in English, right, John?
Exactly. Whether you're catching a flight, taking a taxi, or asking for directions, these phrases will help you get around with ease.
Let's start with booking your travel. If you're booking a flight or train ticket, you might need to ask, how much is a ticket to, for example, how much is a ticket to Paris?
Right. And if you're not sure about the schedule, you can ask, what time is the next flight to, or when does the next train leave?
I always need to ask that when I'm traveling. I never seem to know what time my flight is. And once you're at the airport, you'll probably need to ask, where is the check-in counter? Or, can you tell me where Gate 5 is?
Yes, the airport can be overwhelming. Another important one is, what time is my flight? It's good to check, especially if you're running late.
Oh, for sure. You can also ask, do I need to show my ID to check in? When you're unsure about the airport requirements.
That's a good one. And if you're taking a taxi, you might say, take me to the airport, please, or how much is it to get to the hotel?
If you're unsure about the distance, you can ask, how far is it to the airport? Or, is the hotel near here?
And if you're using public transportation, you can say, where is the nearest bus stop? Or, which way to the train station?
I always ask that when I'm in a new city. It's a lifesaver to know the public transport routes. And if you need directions, you could say, can you tell me how to get to, or what's the best way to get to the museum?
Exactly. And if you're confused about directions, you might want to ask, is it far from here? Or, can I walk there from here?
If you're traveling to a specific place, it's useful to say, how long will it take to get there? That way, you know if you have enough time to explore.
And when you're navigating a foreign city, you can always ask, what's the best route to the tourist attractions? Or, is there a shortcut to get there?
Oh, and if you're unsure about how much it'll cost to get somewhere, don't hesitate to ask, how much does it cost to get to? Or, what's the fare to the airport?
That's really useful. And when you get to your hotel, you'll need to know how to check in. You might hear, do you have a reservation? And you can respond, yes, under the name Anna.
And if you're unsure about your reservation, you could say, could you confirm my reservation? Or, can I check in early?
I've asked that before when I'm exhausted from traveling. If you don't have a reservation, you can simply say, do you have a room available? Or, how much is a room for tonight?
Good one. And once you're in your hotel, you might want to ask, could you recommend a good restaurant nearby? Or, where is the nearest grocery store?
That's always helpful when you're traveling, especially in a new city. It's good to ask for local recommendations.
Right. And let's not forget about emergencies. If you're in trouble or need help, you should know how to say, I need help, there's been an accident. Or, where's the nearest hospital?
Definitely. And for more everyday situations, you might want to say, could you help me find my way around the city? Or, I think I'm lost. Can you help me?
I know I've said that more times than I can count. And when you're feeling a little more confident, you can ask, what's the best way to get to the airport from here?
You can also ask, how far is it to the bus station if you're traveling by public transport?
Right. And don't forget to ask about local transport schedules. When does the next bus leave? Is always helpful when you're in a hurry.
Yeah, that's a good one to remember. And once you're at your destination, you can say, could you recommend a place to visit nearby? Or, where should I go to experience the local culture?
Welcome back. In this part, we're going to cover essential phrases for making plans and setting up meetings. Whether you're arranging a meeting with a colleague or meeting friends for a casual hangout, these phrases will help you get it all organized.
Absolutely. Making plans is a big part of daily life, and knowing how to do it in English can really help you stay on top of things.
Let's start with the basics. When you want to meet someone, you can say, what time works for you? Or, how about we meet at 3 p.m.?
Right. And if you're making plans for the weekend, you could say, what are you doing this weekend? Or, do you want to hang out this Saturday?
And if you're not sure about a time, you can suggest, how does 5 p.m. sound? Or, would 2 o'clock work for you?
You could also say, let's meet up next week. Or, how about next Friday? It's a nice way to suggest a future time for your plans.
If you're unsure of someone's schedule, you can ask, Are you free on Friday? Or, do you have time to meet this week?
That's helpful, especially when you're trying to find the best time to meet. Now, what if you need to change the time or reschedule?
Good question. If you need to move a meeting, you can say, "Something came up, can we reschedule?" Or, "I'm sorry, but I need to change the time."
I think I've used that excuse more times than I can count. Another one is, "Can we push this to next week?" Or, "I need to cancel our meeting, unfortunately."
Right. And if you're unsure about the time, you could say, "Let me check my schedule." Or, "I'll get back to you with a time."
If you're agreeing on a time, you can say, "Sounds good to me," or "That works for me." It's a simple and polite way to confirm plans.
For more formal settings like business meetings, you can say, "I'd like to schedule a meeting for next week." Or, "Can we set a time to meet?"
And if you're confirming a meeting, you could say, "Just confirming our meeting for Thursday at 10 a.m." Or, "I wanted to double-check our meeting time."
If you're meeting for a coffee or casual get-together, you can say, "Let's grab a coffee sometime." Or, "Do you want to go for a walk this afternoon?"
I love a good coffee catch-up. And if you want to make plans but are not sure when, you can say, "Let's touch base later," or "Let's figure it out closer to the date."
Right. Those are more relaxed ways to say you're open to meeting, but don't have a fixed time yet. And when you're finalizing plans, you could ask, "Shall we confirm the time on the day?" Or, "Do you want me to send you a reminder?"
That's perfect if you're worried about forgetting. And don't forget, when you make plans, it's always nice to add, "Looking forward to seeing you," or "Can't wait to catch up."
That adds such a friendly touch to the conversation. Now, what if you want to change plans last minute? You could say, "Sorry, but I need to cancel our plans," or "I'm not going to be able to make it."
Yeah, and to reschedule, you can say, "Can we meet another time?" Or, "Would it be possible to shift it to a different day?"
And if someone else cancels on you, you can say, "No worries, let's reschedule." Or, "That's okay, we can plan for another time."
Right. And if you're planning something special, like a dinner or party, you could say, "I'm hosting a dinner this Saturday, would you like to come?" Or, "I'm planning a small get-together this weekend, are you free?"
For big events, you can ask, "Can you make it to the party?" Or, "Are you available to join us for the meeting?" It's polite and shows you want them to be there.
I think we've covered a lot of ground on making plans. Now, let's say you want to be polite but still firm. If someone asks for your time and you can't fit it in, you could say, "I'm afraid I'm busy at that time," or "I won't be able to make it this time, but let's try another day."
That's helpful when you're trying to juggle multiple plans. And when you're confirming plans, you can simply say, "It's a plan," or "It's set. Welcome back." In this part, we'll cover how to express your opinions and preferences in English. These are phrases you'll use to share your thoughts, whether you're talking about a movie, food, or anything else.
Exactly. Being able to express your opinion clearly is a big part of communication. It allows you to share what you think and hear others' thoughts too.
Let's start with expressing opinions. The most common phrase is, "I think that..." For example, you could say, "I think that movie was great," or "I think we should meet at 7 p.m.
That's a good one. You can also say, "In my opinion," when you want to give your personal perspective. For example, "In my opinion, the new restaurant in town is amazing."
Yes, "in my opinion" sounds a bit more formal, but it's still a great phrase for making your opinion known. Another way is to say, "I believe." For instance, "I believe we'll have good weather tomorrow."
"I believe" sounds a little more certain, like you're sure about something. But what if you're not too sure about your opinion?
If you're not 100% sure, you can use phrases like, "I think," or "I feel like." For example, "I feel like this is the best option," or "I think we should leave earlier."
That's true. And if you want to emphasize your opinion, you could say, "I strongly believe," or "I definitely think." It makes your point sound even more confident.
I've used "I strongly believe" when I really want to convince someone of something. Now, what about when you want to disagree or give a different opinion?
Well, if you don't agree with someone, you could say, I don't think that's true, or I don't agree with that. You could also say, I see your point, but I think, to politely show your disagreement.
Right. And if you're not entirely sure but still want to express a different opinion, you could say, I'm not sure I agree with that, or I'm not convinced that's the best option.
And if you want to soften your disagreement, you can say, I see what you mean, but I feel differently. Or, I understand your point, but I think it might be better if...
That's a nice way to show respect for someone's opinion while still giving your own. Now, let's talk about preferences. When you want to express what you like, you can say, I prefer, for example, I prefer tea over coffee, or I prefer staying at home on weekends.
I like that one. You can also say, I'd rather. For example, I'd rather have pizza than pasta, or I'd rather go for a walk than watch TV.
Exactly. I'd rather is great when you're comparing two options and want to show your choice. And if you really love something, you can say, I love, or I enjoy. For instance, I love going to the beach, or I enjoy reading books in my free time.
Those are perfect for showing what you like to do. And if you're not sure about something, you can say, I'm not sure if I like it, or I'm not a fan of that.
It's nice to be able to express both your likes and dislikes. If you're in a restaurant, for example, you can say, I don't really like spicy food, or I'm not crazy about fish.
And if you're talking about a movie, you might say, I didn't really enjoy that film, or it wasn't my favorite movie.
I've definitely said, it wasn't my favorite movie when I've had to sit through something boring. But what if you want to express enthusiasm about something?
Oh, then you can say, I absolutely love this, or this is amazing. If you really enjoy something like a new dish or a song, you could say, this is my favorite, or I can't get enough of this.
Those are great ways to show excitement. And for more neutral preferences, you can say, I don't mind it, or it's okay with me. Like, I don't mind watching this movie, or it's okay with me if we go to the park.
Perfect for when you're open to whatever your friends want to do. Now, if you need to choose between two options, you could say, I can't decide between, or I'm torn between.
Yes, and if you're leaning toward one choice but still open to others, you could say, I think I prefer, but I could go either way.
Those are really useful for when you're not sure, but still have a preference. Now, let's say someone offers you something and you want to politely refuse. You could say, no thank you, or I'm good, thanks.
Right. And if you want to explain why, you can say, I'm full, or I'm not really hungry right now.
And if you're being polite but not interested, you could say, I'll pass this time, or maybe next time.
And that's a wrap for Part 5. We've gone over expressing opinions and preferences. Now you're ready to share what you think in any conversation.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. In the next part, we'll cover some essential phrases for everyday situations like emergencies and casual conversations. See you then.